Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We got lots to get over to in the show here tonight. The Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins played a memorable one last night in Boston. It's not often that you get to go home again, but for Brad Marchand, I'd say that was a special one that he's going to remember for a long time. It certainly was a unique hockey game. Elsewhere, we've got games in action tonight. We've got college hockey, a new number one, and maybe even a new date of hockey. Could it? No way. We've also got a rookie making a mark early in the season, a new mascot out west, all kinds of things to get over, plus some fun along the way. This is the Neutral Zone. Buckle on up, everybody. Let's talk some hockey. Let's go. Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome back on into the Neutral Zone. I am Adam Karnik. He is Freddie B. Together, we are the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio. So glad to have you here with us tonight. Freddie, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing awesome, Adam. Like we were talking, a busy day on the work live. Had to rush into the studio, get things prepped, but can't wait. Got a lot of talked about in just a week since our last show. So much has gone on around the league, and now we're 2 weeks plus into the season, starting to get a little feel of how teams are looking and some trends going on. I can't wait to talk about some of that stuff as well. Like you mentioned, college hockey is on fire right now, and a lot of good stuff to talk about, man. How are you doing, Adam? I got to watch your Hawks the other night play the Ducks. That was a really entertaining game.
That was an incredibly entertaining game. That was some phenomenal hockey between the Hawks and the Ducks the other night. Coach Q making not his first return to Chicago, so they didn't make a big deal out of it. They just kind of let it go. But that was an incredibly entertaining game, and for the Hawks, to me, it was very nice to see them get the extra point in overtime.
Yeah, the way that they lost it at the very end, 30 seconds away from winning in regulation, they could have just given up and come away with 1 point, but to overcome and get that extra point, they deserved the win at the end of that game.
They did. And the way, they struggled so much last year going to extra time and coming away with the win. And they'd already twice this season gone to extra time and failed to get that extra point. So it was kind of oh no, here we go again with this third one. This cannot happen. And so it's nice to see them get that extra point. Before we dive too much in, I do want to make a quick comment on the show. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go over to planetjerky.net to place your order there. And also Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. You'll hear a little bit about each of those sponsors later on in the program. If you are watching the show live tonight across YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, be sure to drop down a comment below. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. I see an old friend in the comments, Mikey Two Guns, diehard Bruins fan. I imagine last night was a little bit of a punch in the gut seeing Marchand in a Florida jersey. And then, of course, Larry B is always excited to be here.
Let's go, Larry. Congratulations.
Yes, some congratulations to Larry in order, as well as he got a big promotion that he let everybody know about today. So congratulations to you, sir. Well, let's real fast before we dive into that Florida-Boston discussion, let's just take a quick peek and a gander over at the scores in the NHL tonight. Not a ton going on, just 3 games on the docket tonight. But let's see. I've got here
New Jersey. Man, another win.
Another win for the Devils. Wow. 4-1 over the Wild. Convincing fashion, too.
That's 6 in a row now for New Jersey.
That is impressive. Impressive for the Devils. They very nearly got the shutout. A late goal in the third by the Wild, but that was kind of meaningless at that point. End of 1. The Canadians and Flames are, the Canadians are up 1-0 on the Flames. Zach Balduke, the lone goal there already, his 5th goal of the season there for Balduke in that one. And then early in the third, the Red Wings and the Sabres tied it 2. The Sabres on a power play. They had a 2-1 lead in this, but Emmett Finney with his 4th of the season late in the second period got it tied up. So we'll see as they're down to about 17 minutes and change left in that.
Yeah. One thing on New Jersey, they're off to this 6-1 start now, and they don't even have Jacob Markstrom. If they can hold down the fort and continue to plow their way through the division there, that they're going to be sitting pretty nice. We expect Carolina obviously to be up there atop the Metro division, but then you have Pittsburgh surprisingly at 5-2, 10 points, sitting in third right now. So 2 of those teams we expected with New Jersey and Carolina, but I didn't expect the hot start that we've seen out of New Jersey. But yeah, good stuff coming out of the Metro. We said that was the weakest division coming into the season as well.
The weakest division, but so far, yeah, it's kind of providing some of the most entertainment and some of the most wow factor. Mikey's asking who's surprised us so far. New Jersey, I'm a surprise. 6-1. That to me is always, I never expect a team to get off to a hot start like that, but I like seeing that from them.
The other team playing tonight, Detroit, has also won 5 in a row. They're 2-2, like you were saying. That's another surprise team. Bubble team for the playoffs last year. Weren't sure if they were going to get over the hump. Dylan Larkin, Patrick Kane, really riding those guys. Mo Sider, and they got good goaltending now. John Gibson had his fluky game to start the season, but since then he's played great, and so has Cam Talbot. So big props right now for the New Jersey Devils. And another surprise team, if you had to ask me, right now is Dallas Stars. Dallas really struggling, lost another game at home to Columbus. That
game, I'm glad you brought up Dallas, because that I happened to just, it was the end of the night and it was, hey, I just want to take a couple minutes and relax and detox. So let's see who's on. Mm-hmm. And I caught the end of that Dallas game last night. That stunned me. I was shocked to see that one down in Dallas last night. That was as I'm pulling up to make sure that I'm giving the correct credit where it's due. Columbus going down to Dallas and not just winning, 5-1.
Yeah.
And Jake Ottinger was in net. He had some terrible missed saves. He just was bad. It wasn't like the defense in front of him failed. There were a couple where it's just like, he just straight up missed. He just flat out missed a couple of pucks.
I expected
and they
Dallas
got behind
to come
him.
out a lot stronger yesterday. They were on a 2-game losing streak already, and you come home and you lay a giant egg like that. Not good to start the
Yeah.
season, and I don't like what I'm seeing out of them. I expected them to be up there with Colorado as the powerhouse.
And it's early, it's still incredibly early yet in the season where Dallas has played 6 games. That was game number 6 for Dallas. So it's still very early, incredibly early, but yeah, definitely not the start that we were expecting for the Stars there. Well, let's dive into our top story tonight. The Rat comes home. We get to see some of these homecomings. It seems like everybody's got you've got 1 or 2 of these a season where it's really big for a big name player who spent a long time with one team, now gets to come home. Brad Marchand. I don't know about you. I was surprised at the emotion that we saw from Marchand. Normally we think of him as the instigator, the guy who's just going to get under everybody's skin. And he was very genuinely moved by the tribute.
Very emotional. And I loved it because it just shows you that he could have this exterior, this cockroach exterior on the outside, but then deep down inside, he still, has that heart, and he is a good guy. And I trust me, I hated watching Marchand play early in his career. He was that gritty kind of, on the edge kind of a player, took a lot of stupid penalties, a lot of cheap shots. Well, we've seen what he's done with the past. He tried to lick, gosh, who was that over in Tampa Bay during the playoffs? That 1 year. Oh my God.
Yes.
His antics were crazy, but he produced great numbers, and he won gold medals. He won a cup with the Bruins. And as he started getting older in his career, I started having more appreciation for watching Brad Marchand and what he did. And those kind of players, they get under your skin, but you do have an appreciation for what they bring talent-wise. He's not the biggest of guys, but he's a great player, played with some really good people in Boston, and the way that they embraced him was awesome. And it was awesome to see him crack and get emotional on the ice. He's human, and you like to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, Marchand, he's always been, to me, he's been one of those guys that if he's on your team, you love him because he pushes all the right buttons to get on the other team's skin. If you're going up against him, he's that guy that you just want to see taken out of the game as quickly as possible. That it's every time his line has a shift, it's just why is that little punk out there on the ice? Can't they do something?
So instrumental in their Stanley Cup win against Vancouver, because he was that antagonist, that instigator, and he went head to head with Burroughs in that series. And I remember that so vividly, that was kind of the turning point. Like, oh, God, I can't stand this guy, but man, I loved him, have him on my team. And but Boston, they have a lot of respect for their professional organizations, and he made a big dent in the community there as well. So good for Brad, and good for the Panthers and both the Bruins.
Yeah. The fans the ovation was long. It was almost a 3-minute ovation.
Yeah, I watched it.
It was
nice.
That's special. That's very cool. It's always nice to come home, and it's nice to know that even when you leave, the fans in Boston, they remember everything he did. And he's going to wear, obviously, this Panthers sweater this year. Who knows what the future might hold? He might put on a couple other sweaters before he hangs it up officially, but he's always going to be a Boston Bruin wherever he goes.
It's like later on in this season, you're going to see a nice reception when Jonathan Toews, although he's only been on another team for 1 season, technically has been away from the Blackhawks for a few years. The ovation that he'll get when he returns back to the United Center in Chicago, that is one I'm looking forward to as well.
The Patrick Kane one
Mm-hmm.
broke me. I was very much a wreck during that game. The Taves one is going to be very special too. When that happens, he's going to get he's going to get a very long ovation when he comes. The game itself was quite the event too. The Panthers win it 4-3 last night. Boston trailing 2-0 after 2, and I want to make sure that I get my scoring on here correct. Yes, trailed 2-0 after 2, came back to tie it in the third. Florida takes the lead again. Boston ties it again, only to have Connor Verhaeghe get credited for a goal where it bounced off of somebody's skate and then in. What a bizarre finish.
26 seconds left too. And to lose the game, almost got it to OT, so you pick up that point. Both teams were on significant losing streaks, and nobody wanted to lose. Boston with a tremendous comeback in that game. They could have just, rolled over and lost their 5th or 6th in a row, but they did battle back. And but that's the way the puck bounces sometimes. You never know. You put the puck on net, things can happen. You can get a fluky bounce or, a deflection. Anything can happen. So, a good game, man. A lot of good games over the past couple of nights for sure.
A lot of good games, but that was definitely one that a lot of people had circled on the NHL calendar. But now, as Mikey brings it up here in the chat, the Bruins now, you got off to a good start, and now things are reeling a bit for the Bruins overall. That loss, as you pointed out, under 30 seconds away from at least salvaging a point out of this game, and instead you come away with nothing. Now 5 straight losses for the Bruins, and all of them in regulation. The Bruins you've got coming up now on their schedule, as I'll pull this up real quick here. Where's the streak going to stop? Where are they going to get that next win? As you look, they've got Anaheim coming up tomorrow night. Then they host the Avalanche, and they go to Ottawa then next week.
It's possible it might reach 7 games, and then they can, play Ottawa, and maybe that's the game that it happens.
Maybe because the Ducks, I mean, I want to say, that's the spot that's where it's going to happen, but Anaheim hasn't exactly been a pushover lately either. So I'm with you. I could absolutely see it going to 6 and then hosting the Avalanche. Oh boy, hosting the Avalanche Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
you do not want to be. That's not a team to get right against.
No, not right now. But we didn't expect anything really out of Boston to begin the season with. I thought they would be a little bit better. You thought they're going to be down at the bottom. We both agree that they're probably not a playoff team. But you never want to start seasons on multiple game losing streaks, because you can't win the Stanley Cup at the beginning of the season, but you can definitely play your way out by not playing well.
Yes, absolutely you can. Absolutely. Yeah, you play yourself right out of position there, and the next thing you know, you get to those games in March and April, and you're suddenly you feel that pressure way too early. Every single night becomes a playoff night for you, and that can just be overwhelming for you. So you've got to take advantage of early games and not put yourself in too big of a hole.
No, but I don't know. Where are we going next, Adam? There's a lot of big stories.
Yeah, so speaking of teams that we're maybe not necessarily expecting a whole lot from, but we're going to try to find some positives for them. The New York Islanders, sitting here 6 games in. Yeah. Hey, they're averaging a point a game. They're right at 500, 3-3-0 through 6 games, and they're getting some production out of their youngster, Matthew Schaefer. He's on a nice little point streak right now.
Yeah, he's
This
tied the record for 6 games to start a rookie defensive point streak. He tied Merrick Ziglicki. Remember when he was with I think he started with New Jersey, and yeah, that's an incredible. I mean, a rookie defenseman to start the season and contribute offensively the way he has is pretty impressive. And I like what he's doing. He's got 2 goals and 5 assists already. He's an even as far as it comes to plus minus, but yeah, that's a shining spot right now for the Islanders, which you don't know what you're going to get out of them, but they do have a bright future ahead of with Matthew Schaefer. I like what I'm seeing right now out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. In anytime, with the D men, the goals are sexy, but the goals, you really want those to be more the icing on the cake or the cherry
Right?
on top. You don't necessarily want those to be the reason he's getting in the scorebook. So the 5 assists,
Yeah.
that's really what you like seeing out of him there. And
Yeah, he's
for
like
the
a Cale Makar 2.0 maybe.
mhm.
What I'm seeing out of him out there, he is like a lighter version of Cale Makar.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And he had 22 points last season in the Ontario Hockey League, 17 games,
Mhm.
22 points. So he's gone on runs like this throughout his minor league, his amateur career. So not a huge shock, not a massive surprise to see him doing this, but still, anytime you're starting a career like that, you love seeing it. Zidlicki, by the way, he was with Nashville at the
Nashville.
time when he
I knew
said that.
Nashville. It's either one of the 2. I couldn't remember. I didn't pull it up, so correct me for being wrong there, but I knew it was one of the 2 teams.
Oh, I always when it's stuff like that, I always double
I
check
was
it.
about to
Wait a
say
minute, did I
Nashville.
have
I
that
thought
right?
I was wrong.
But yeah, with the Predators at the time. So the Islanders off tonight. They host the Red Wings tomorrow before heading down to Philadelphia over the weekend. So and then taking on the Bruins next week, Tuesday. So yeah, 500. I think
Yeah.
those 3 games, 3 points. Yeah, I wouldn't. That wouldn't shock me in the slightest if they came away with 3 points in those 3 games.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think the Islanders are gonna kinda be that, you know, 30 to 35 win team during the season. They might get to the 82 point plateau. Um, they're to me, they're just boring. I haven't really watched many of the games. It's the same team that they've had before. They have Bo Horvat now, but Kyle Palmieri and the crew, they're kind of the same kind of guys. Matthew Barzal, Anders Lee. I need to see something fresh, and I think what Matthew Schaefer is going to do, he's going to bring this team to relevance in a quick amount of time again. We need to see the Islanders back being competitive because just a couple of seasons ago, they had a couple of really good teams. They had a nice run when they had John Tavares before he went to Toronto. And the Islanders, they're another passionate fan base, New York in general. They got 2 teams that are struggling right now. And it's got to be frustrating for sure.
Yeah. Now there's a okay. Yeah, we're gonna. This is always great for anybody who. Oh, how does sports talk, podcasting or radio work? You always brainstorm topics live on the air. That's step one. Great topic for debate. This would have been a great thing to think about ahead of time. Who gets out of the slump first? The Rangers, the Islanders? Who becomes the team there in New York? Because one of them's got to snap out of this eventually, right? I mean, the
You would
Rangers did finally
expect.
start scoring at home.
Well, yeah, they scored within the first minute of their game the other night against Minnesota, but then that was the only goal they scored the entire game. So they went another 59 minutes of scoreless hockey at home. 1 goal in 4 games, 4 losses at home. That is not good, Ranger fans. And I think, I don't know, a lot of people really down on the team right now in general. You know, Lafreniere, he's doing absolutely nothing. He's contributing nothing to the team. You know, they had the same issue with Capo Caco a few years ago, and then they ended up shipping him off to Seattle. But those big name guys that they expected that were the high draft picks just haven't come through yet. And I mean, their goaltending is going to keep them in games, and their defense, which is probably one of the top third in the Eastern Conference, but they got to be able to score goals, especially when it comes to at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Islanders, it's the Rangers, not a whole lot was expected of them. The Islanders, even less was expected of them this season. But so far, both of those two teams are they're not doing anything to surprise anybody in a positive way. We'll dive deeper into that here. That'll be a good one to do for next week. We'll dive into those, and now, of course, we'll say that one of them will go on a hot streak and it'll make the whole thing irrelevant. But
again, we're only just over 2 weeks into the season. Nobody's played even 10 games yet, so we're not even in to the quarter pole. I think is when you can really start to see who's a pretender and who's a contender.
Absolutely.
Where these teams, if they're still, floating above water, they're probably not going to be playoff caliber teams, but we'll see. We'll give it another week or two and go from there.
And then we'll see where we're at. Well, one other kind of fun story as we start off the show here tonight. The Utah Mammoth. Still, that name, I'm never gonna go for that name, but that's me. I got to just get over that at some point. They unveiled their mascot at their first home game last week. Tusky, a gigantic woolly mammoth. Go figure. Hey, take the layups where they come. That's absolutely what it should be when your nickname is the mammoth. He did his opening laps. I like how they presented him. They had him in this giant 7-foot tall ice cube. That they broke him out of, and then he went out and introduced himself to the crowd there in Utah and at the Delta. Is it still the Delta Center?
I think they went back to, it's called the Delta Center again. It was something else, and then it went back to Delta Center. But now they got they have an identity now. The Utah Hockey Club last year. And then, with the name of the Mammoth, we both, we're like, that's okay, I guess. But it's really growing on me. The jerseys are sick. I love the logo, and I've been watching them, and they are a fun, exciting team out there right now. They had such a big win last night too. 4-0 now at home since the unveiling of Tusky. That is a place that you do not want to go into because they beat a very good Stanley Cup contending Colorado Avalanche team last night, and in a very fun, exciting hockey game.
Yeah, they've been playing 4 straight wins now, 5-2-0 on the season. So they got 10 points right out of the gate. I am pleasantly surprised by what I'm seeing from the Mammoth, from the team. Nick Schmaltz already 10 points, averaging a point a night, 4 goals on the season. Keller's got 7 assists already. You've got Gunther.
Dylan Gunther.
Yep, Dylan Gunther's got 6 points, including 4 goals already. They've got two guys with 4 goals already on the season, 21 goals already on the season for him. Larry, it was gonna be the Yeti. It was. That's the thing. I've done this rant too many times. I need to stop doing it every time they get brought up, but it absolutely was going to be the Yeti. I'll just leave it at that. So I was not wrong. They just, unfortunately, federal trademarks got involved and they got told they couldn't. That's why. But they're also, also looking at it, their play in net has been solid so far too. Vejmelka is doing really well. 2.2 goals against average, saving just over 91% of his shots. He's stopping all the time. Vanek, just the two starts. You like the goals against average. His save percentage isn't where you would want it to be, but he's the backup. He's not going to be there. He's not going to be out there every single night. That's not what, you don't need to have 95% from your backup. You just need to have somebody that can get you through when you need to. But yeah, good stuff from the Mammoths so far.
Really fun team. They're getting good defensive play. Sergachev on defense is not only a big presence, being their number one D man, but he's also giving him a lot of offense as well. And like I said, they did lose Sean Dursey early in the season. He's out for a significant period of time, but the pickup of Nate Schmidt and John Marino, two big veterans, and then you have Ian Cole and Oli Mata, their defense is really solid. And when you combine that with what they're getting out of the youth offensively, look out, because if Dallas slips up and can't, be the team that we think, we already know Colorado is who they are, and Winnipeg is outstanding. Maybe Utah could end up being that third team in the Central Division, and maybe Dallas might be the team on the way out.
And right now, that's exactly how it is right now. Is Utah's tied with Winnipeg in the points. Winnipeg's played one less game. Again, it's all incredibly early, as we keep saying, but it's still great early returns for the Mammoth. I'm not 100% sold on Tusky, but I also, I got reminded. Sometimes the internet can be a good thing. Sometimes I know there's a lot of stuff on Twitter that can just absolutely drive you nuts. Hence why I have no hair in my head. But occasionally you do stumble upon some good things. And I was reminded by somebody on Twitter that it's, mascots are for the kids, and a great big fuzzy woolly mammoth. Yeah, that's inviting. That's going to hit with the intended audience.
It really is. And they hit the nail on the head with that. It's great. I know, being a Kings fan here, we had a really good mascot. The original Bailey was incredible. He was so interactive with kids and the adults too. It was awesome. One of the best mascots in all the sports. He was voted the best in hockey for many years. And then, something happened with the original guy. I'm not going to say. And then they end up bringing him back and recharacterizing it, but it's not as good. But look at what Gritty in Philadelphia. That guy is everywhere. You see Gritty and his popularity. Mascots are huge, and fans tend to flock to mascots. And if you have a really good one, Tusky could be another giant one.
I mean, for Philly, heck, Gritty is the reason to go to a game right now. If you're a Flyers fan, that's why you're going to see what antics Gritty's going to be up to this week. So yeah, it's a solid A with him. They met the criteria. Job well done.
Utah's done everything right over the last 2 years by the bringing the franchise in, what they've done to renovate the arena, the players they've brought in, the management and coaches. Utah is doing everything at a very high level right now, and their stock is rising tremendously, and they're going to be a team to look out for in the next couple of years for sure.
Absolutely, they are. It's going to be interesting times in the Central Division.
Yep.
With that, let's kind of take a quick break. Let's reset ourselves a little bit, and when we come back, we will dip down into the collegiate ranks. We've got a new number 1, and might there be a new state of hockey? No, say it can't possibly be so. We will debate that next. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this. IE Sports Radio fans, This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Freddie back with you here for the second half of our program. So we talked all NHL to get the show started. We'll wrap things up with some NHL before we get out of here tonight. But before we go too much further, we've got a little bit of college hockey to talk. The NCAA men's season is well underway, and we've got a new number one after a strong weekend. Freddie, tell us about the Michigan State Spartans.
Oh man, Michigan State winning both games, beating BU this weekend, and both of those games were fun to watch. They were nationally televised on ESPN. John Buchgross did a good job, doing the first game, and man, two really top powerhouse teams, and Michigan State looking really solid so far early this season. Like you said, the state of Michigan in general is just flying high right now. Michigan State did bump to number one, Western Michigan sitting at number two, and the Michigan Wolverines number three right now in the country, 6-0, their best start since 1979.
That is impressive. Yeah, that we Sparty number one, but then the maize and blue of the Wolverines right behind them. And of course, the Western Michigan Broncos are the reigning national champions. So could we say that Michigan is now the state of hockey? I can hear my in-laws in Minnesota all getting ready to disown me when I say that.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing everything right now to prove that is the case. And, it's early in the season, but, man, this much action already in the collegiate hockey is awesome. And it's only growing. I've seen so many shows and other podcasts really focusing heavily on NCAA hockey now. And it's really gaining its popularity. A lot of these youngsters are the future of the NHL. We're seeing, with Gavin McKenna, the potential number one overall pick coming into next season. And you've got a couple of other really good players in the league right now out of Penn State, JJ Weebush and Matt DiMarcio, both with 6 and 7 goals respectively this year, both putting up fat numbers. And Penn State did have that hiccup early in the season, but they will be back. Don't worry about them. They will be back, and they will be a Frozen Four team when it comes to the end of the season.
And what excellent timing too. Talk about an early season matchup going on. What you've got coming up in the schedule tomorrow. Number 3 Michigan hosting number 2 Western Michigan tomorrow night. That is going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, if you don't want to tune in and watch the Chargers play on Thursday Night Football, find this game. This is an excellent collegiate hockey game. They play both tomorrow night, and then we'll play again Friday night as well. And let's see if Michigan can continue that unbeaten streak to start the season and, beat those defending champs from a year ago. That's huge. That's like Ohio State playing Alabama to start the season or something like that in college football. When you get these powerhouses playing each other early in the season, I think it always makes the teams better when you play tougher competition. Not so much, lower competition in collegiate hockey as it had been before. A lot of really good schools now. There's a good 40, 50 good schools that can compete. But yeah, I love it when you see these big powerhouses. You had Michigan State, Boston last week, Western and Michigan this week. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to watch it tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's gonna be some excellent hockey being played there. We'll take a quick peek over at the rankings as well here, talking some collegiate hockey here on the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. Mentioned Michigan State up to number 3, Western Michigan stays at 2 overall. Michigan moves up 1 spot from 4 to 3. Boston University falls from 1 down to 4 and received no first place votes. The other 3 teams above them all received first place votes. And also Penn State, coming in at number 5, received 1 first place vote in the rankings. You then rounding out the top 10, Quinnipiac jumps up from 10 to 6. Denver falls from 5 to 7. North Dakota staying at 8. Boston College staying at 9. And then Maine falling from 7 to 10 to round out the top 10. But of course, the big games this week, of course, are the 2 matchups between Western Michigan and Michigan. That is the huge matchup for the weekend. But that's not to say they're the only ones going on in major college hockey. You do have number 4 Boston University taking on number 11 UConn this weekend. Denver and Boston College are playing each other as well, and Michigan State taking on Northern Michigan. So you've got some good ranked action there. Minnesota taking on in-state rival Minnesota Duluth. That's 12 versus 18. So there are other good top 25, top 20 ranked matches going on in hockey. But of course, the big ones are going to be the games against Western and Michigan. Should we just hit some fast and crazy stuff from the NHL real quick? Oh, maybe we did. We lost Freddie. He's muted. Oh no. We will get him back. We will work on that. We'll see about getting him. Well, while we're doing that, let's actually then let's take a quick reset and restart here, see if we can get Freddie back. And then we are going to just do some quick tip-ins and extras from the NHL from this past week. You are listening to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
What's up, up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I think we were able to fix the technical problems. Freddie, are you back with us?
I'm back. Can you guys hear me now? All right.
Oh, I hear you. We hear you loud and clear. Oh, good. There. Whatever the glitch was, it's fixed. Life is good. We move on. Well, shall we move on to let's do some hard and fast NHL stuff to finish out the show, shall we? Some tip-ins and extras, and we'll start out with the reigning Western Conference champion, those Edmonton Oilers, forever the bridesmaid, never the bride, the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid got his first goal of the season. It took a little bit, but you know, you can only keep a guy like him. You can only keep a guy like him on the sidelines for so long before eventually he's going to get one and knock one in. Oh, I see Freddie shaking his head. I think whatever his technical problems were, I think they might be coming back. All right. Well, he's going to do a reset and a reboot here. We'll get him back up and running. Elsewhere in the NHL, the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think we can necessarily call him Sid the Kid anymore. That feels, for a guy who's been playing now for over 20 years in the NHL, to call him the Kid feels a little inappropriate at this point. But Sidney Crosby made some terrific history over this past week. He became the Pittsburgh Penguins all-time leading scorer in franchise history. I want to make sure that I get the number right here for Sid the Kid, as I lost my story. Oh no.
Yeah, he passed Mario Lemieux for 1,896 career points.
There we go. Thank you. And yes, your equipment's back up and running. Excellent.
For now, let's see. Speaking of Sid, I went to the King game last week. when the Penguins were in town to see that Crosby Kopitar matchup. And to my, demise, Kopitar was a scratch. He had just gotten hurt, had a foot injury against Minnesota, so that matchup didn't happen. Kings, jumped out to a nice early 2-0 lead, and then end up losing that game 4-2. But man, I can never not watch Sidney Crosby play. Like I mentioned before, my daughter is named Sydney because I am such a huge Sidney Crosby fan. And man, to see him and Malkin and those guys still producing, and not only is he putting up points right now, Malkin's got 10 points on the season as well, but Pittsburgh is winning games, and we weren't expecting them. I said maybe they could be like that bubble team, but right now sitting at 5-2, 10 points in the Metro. That's a really good start to the season.
That's an excellent start out in Pittsburgh. Yes, absolutely. There's obviously a log jam. You've got Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Washington all at 10 points in there, but still, even if you're simply staying with the pack this early in the season, that's tremendous progress for an organization. And let's face it, with those guys, that if they get in, they'll know what to do once they get into the playoffs. They're not going to be daunted by the moment or anything like that.
We'll see what happens in a few months' time. Pittsburgh may actually be buyers when it comes down to the trade deadline. If they're in a playoff position, they may say, hey, we're going to buy. We're going to, this team is actually pretty good. They're still getting, decent goaltending, but the big guys are contributing. Crosby, Malkin, Chris Letang, Erik Karlsson, Rickard Rakell. They're getting good stuff. And then Justin Brazeau is just having a phenomenal start to this season as well. He's bringing that big body. He's a natural scorer. And I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, it's a tremendous, tremendous start to the season for the Penguins. And then this one made me feel so good. Jonathan Toews ends a 900-day goalless streak, coming back to the NHL this season after 3+ seasons away from the game to play for his hometown Winnipeg Jets. And he gets his first Winnipeg Jet goal over the weekend. Congratulations to Jonathan Toews. It was not the prettiest of goals.
No.
It was a redirect right in front of the net.
In front of the net. Yeah.
But you'll take, in some ways that is a quintessential Jonathan Toews goal.
Yeah. It's a greasy goal, and that's what he's known for.
Doing whatever needs to be done. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was watching that game, and that was, they were losing at the time, and he scores that goal, and that goal tied the game, and then the Winnipeg goes on to win. But yeah, it was really nice. And then to hear him speak after the game in his interview, he was just relieved that he finally got an NHL goal again, and can focus, maybe not grip the stick as tight as he was before, but man, adding him to that Winnipeg team is huge. Not only are they getting his offensive potential, but the leadership as well. Mark Scheifele and crew can really use Jonathan Toews in their push this season.
I had my doubts on how useful he'd actually be out on the ice for them because he'd been away for just so long. Certainly the mental, of course, would all be there, but hockey's a physical game, and sure, we see guys play it into their 40s or heck into their 50s, when you're some of the crazy people. But it's another thing to be in your late 30s and have taken 3 years away from it and still be able to go out there and play. So good for Jonathan Toews. That was tremendous to see. It's going to be exciting. And that's got to be just a massive relief off his shoulders too, to get that first one.
Last night in that Colorado Utah game, Gabriel Landeskog, who has been out of the league for 2.5 seasons, I think it was like 724 days or something like that. since he last scored a goal. Had a goal taken away due to an offside call. Utah challenges the call, and I didn't see the Colorado player touching the puck, propelling it into the zone. It looked like it had come off of the Utah player. Even after multiple replays, the broadcast crew as well was like, I don't see how they can overturn this. And then the official comes out and says, goal's been overturned. So Gabe Landeskog is doing really good things again with Colorado, and it's just a matter of time until he can get that first goal back in the league as well.
That'll be another fantastic one. That one will come. That one absolutely will come. I mean, it's easy for us to say we're not the ones out there on the ice, but it will come. Yeah. It will get there for him. Well, before we wrap things up, we'll let you know real quick, the Buffalo Sabres held off the Detroit Red Wings and got the win tonight. Jack Quinn converting on the power play in the third period gave the Sabres the lead. Josh Doan then got the insurance goal about 4 minutes after that, and the Buffalo Sabres get the win, doubling up the Detroit Red Wings 4-2 tonight. So Detroit stays at 10 points. Buffalo now moves up to 8. That will put them into further territory there in the division. You got to like that from Buffalo.
You got to, because we just talked about their inept on the power play last week, how they started the season 0 for 10, and then they put up 4 power play goals in one game, and now they've won 4 games over their past 5. I'm sorry, 3 out of the, was it 4 or? Oh, 3 wins now. Yeah, so 3 out of their past 4 games now. So good on Buffalo that they're turning that thing around. You know, a lot of potential with that team. You know, they're another one of those bubbles that we're not sure what we're going to see out of them, but Tage Thompson and all those guys, they're fun to watch, and they're surprising. That's a good Detroit Red Wings team, obviously. You know, beating them at home, that's a huge win for the Sabres.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mikey asking how Patrick Kane is doing on the Red Wings. He is Patrick Kane. He is very much still a very active player for them on the season, doing good things. His numbers on the season at the moment, I'll pull them up here real fast, for the still Atlantic Division leading Detroit Red Wings. That is a scary thing to think about.
For a couple more periods, because Montreal is winning right now, and then they could take the lead in the division back.
Well, there you go. But still, Kane on the season, he's got 5 points, 2 goals, and 3 assists. He's a -2 on the plus minus, but he's a forward. You don't really necessarily care about that. He still has it. He still very much is a guy that you have to account for when he's on the ice. Larkin is having the big season out of the gate right now. Let me, as I pull back up the spreadsheet here for
Emmett Finney, really having a really good season as well. He's third in rookie scoring at the moment, and he did score another goal tonight. So he's got 3 goals and 3 assists in his first 5 games of the season.
Yeah, and Larkin an assist on Finney's second goal tonight. So that gives him 12 points on the season. And Finney, that puts him up to how many goals did we say now? That is
he had 2 tonight.
Finney did he have 1 or 2? He had just the one. Just the one. It was the second goal for Detroit.
Yeah. So he's up to 3 goals and 3 assists now on the season. A really good rookie campaign for him to start the year.
Yeah, solid for a rookie. We're seeing some good stuff from the rookies early.
Oh yeah.
Well, that as they say, is that. We've got the horn. That will do it for our show here tonight. Thank you so very, very much to everybody that tuned in. Yes, Jaromir Jagr is amazingly enough still playing. That boggles the mind that you can be 53 years old and play professional hockey. But when you own the team, who's going to tell you no? You know. Thank you to our sponsors, Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. They are still offering free shipping on all orders of $50 and above, and you can follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Thank you also to Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use the promo code IESR at checkout to get 15% off of your order there. Be sure also to follow along on the social media for IE Sports Radio, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube at IE Sports Radio. Thank you to everybody that hung out in the chat room with us tonight. Mike Guns and Larry B. Thank you both gentlemen for hanging out there with us throughout the entire show. Thank you to all 248 people that were watching the show live across YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Thank you. We love it. We do this thing called the Neutral Zone every single Wednesday night. We start at 9 o'clock, 9:30, somewhere in there, depending on how the live schedule goes every Wednesday night. Like the show, share it on YouTube. Let people know that this is the show you watch. We can have fun and interact that way. Next week, it's spooky season. We'll be looking at some of the scary stories across the NHL as well. And the New York team will be very much right into that, don't you think?
I'm dressing up as a Flames fan.
For IE Sports Radio, he is Freddie B. I am Adam Karnik. Together we are the Neutral Zone. We will see you next time. Have a great week, everybody.
Good night.